Hey everybody, Steve here, and today we are here in Korea. For those of you who don't know, I'm Steve. I have a wife and she's awesome. And what we ended up doing was selling everything we had in the United States, threw some stuff into a couple of suitcases, and then we came and we retired here in Korea. A lot of people ask, how is that possible? Because Korea is not known for being expat. It doesn't really have retirement or expat visas like Thailand or Philippines or Portugal or other countries that have those type of visas. But that is kind of going to change. Is what we can end up seeing here in right up there is, according to the Korea Herald, there is a new Korean digital nomad visa. And this is really interesting because there's a lot of people that want to come to Korea. They just don't know how to go about it. They want, hey, I want to live there. I want to experience the culture, so on and so forth. I want to do and stay there longer than 90 days, which is usually a tourist visa. So people are kind of wondering how this happens. Well, Korea has now started not a retirement visa, but as you can see here, a digital nomad visa. And it's going to be effective 1 January 2024. So I wanted to go over the information on this and kind of clue you in on what's going on. So this is going to be kind of interesting here because I got all types of new technology going on. And we'll kind of throw this in here and we'll get that up on the screen so that you can read that. And what I'll do is just go through and read what I got. Now, again, this starts on 1 January. So there might be a few hiccups in regards to information and what is required and what is going, the process, because again, it's a brand new visa for Korea. And just like with any other country, when you have a change in the immigration laws, there's going to be some little hiccups along the road. So, but from what I've seen in Korea, they do really well compared to some other countries. So South Korea is going to issue a new digital nomad visa starting on Monday, which will allow foreigners, or some foreigners, to stay up to 2 years while maintaining a job back in their home country. This is really good. To make remote work and vacation for foreigners in Korea smoother, we've decided to launch a new digital nomad visa. And usually what foreigners have done is to stay 90 days or less with a tourist visa, but now this new system will allow employees and employers of overseas firms to tour and work remotely in Korea for a longer period of time. This is good news for a lot of people, especially those who are digital nomads or do remote work. A lot of remote work came about through COVID, and people are still doing remote work now. And if you really, really want to come to Korea, this would be a great opportunity to do it. Those who apply must submit documents to the Korean embassy of their respective country, proving that they earn an annual income of over 84.96 million won, which is basically 65,000 or 66,000 won, depending on the exchange rate. The figure is double the amount of Korea's gross national income per capita as of 2022. Now, there are some things that applicants are going to have to apply, and includes verification of employment, details of a criminal record, and if you're from the United States, what that means is an FBI background check. Proof of private health insurance, which for some people that were prior military or retired military, you have TRICARE, or you can apply for TRICARE Overseas Select. So that can fill that requirement there if you have TRICARE Overseas Select. Otherwise, you're going to have to come up with a health insurance policy. They are required to hold private health insurance with coverage of at least 100 million won, with the ability to go back to your home country in case of an emergency situation. The other thing it says is that the applicants must be 18 years old or older and have worked in their current field for at least 1 year. After receiving the visa, digital nomads will be allowed to bring along a spouse and children as well, but those children have to be younger than 18. The new visa will allow holders to initially stay in Korea for 1 year, and then you have the opportunity to extend it for a second year, extending a maximum of 2 years. So yeah, that's what we got going on here in Korea in regards to Yeah, Visa, digital nomad, and all that stuff. Now, already there are people that the internet is ablaze already. And this is leaked, or this news came out about 24 hours ago, 18 hours ago. And there's already people that are talking about it, saying, okay, well, I have an income and from a pension or investments or whatever, can I use that to satisfy the monetary requirements to be a digital nomad? Well, the problem is you're going to have to prove that you work for a company for up to a year prior to this application. So not only do you have, and that's going to be done through your federal tax returns, and they're going to probably, this isn't 100% sure, but you're probably going to have to submit a year's worth of tax returns along with a year's worth of banking. Now, the reason I say that is because with our visa, an F1 and an F4 visa, that's the way my wife and I have been able to retire here in Korea, that we can't work in Korea. We also had to meet a monetary requirement for income to stay in Korea, and that had to be proven with income tax records and income tax returns for the last 2 years, and then also banking statements for the last year. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be along those same lines. So for those people who are saying, well, I'm retired, I'm making some good money, or whatever it is, that the problem is you're still going to have to prove that you're employed by a company, have been employed by that company for a year prior to get this digital nomad visa. Before, in other countries, what we end up seeing with digital nomads is just as long as you meet a monetary requirement, and then it's like, hey, well, I do a travel blog or whatever, and you get on Wix, and boom, next thing you know, you got a YouTube page, and boom, you're a travel blogger. Other countries haven't been so stringent on their requirements as long as you meet the monetary requirement. Now, Korea is adding a few more rules, and I can understand because they want to protect their citizens, and they also want to protect the quality of expats or digital nomads that come into their country as well. So generally what we end up seeing with countries that have low standards for expats or their digital nomads, you will see a higher increase in the risk of crime and things like that. But when you have high standards, then you have lower increases of crime. So it's good and bad on both ways. But for those people that are kind of like me, me and the wife, we're boring, we don't get in trouble, we don't party and do any wild and crazy things. We're kind of like, hey, leave us alone and we'll be good. This digital nomad work might be something that you're interested in, especially if you can prove that you have worked for this company prior to a year or a year prior to putting in your application. So yeah, things are changing, and this is something because I have a lot of people contact me and wondering, how do I get to stay in Korea like we do? And for me and the wife, what we ended up doing is, because my wife was a Korean citizen, she was born and raised here. Korea has an F-series visa that for returning Koreans or Koreans with Korean ancestry, family back in Korea, you're born and raised here, you can get a return visa. So even though my wife is an American citizen, she got a 2-year visa to come back to Korea. Now with that, I was able to get a visa, and so we can both stay for a term of 2 years, and then it can be renewed every 2 years. But there is one caveat: we cannot work here in Korea. We cannot work for a Korean employer. That would break the terms of the visa, and if that happens, then our visa would be suspended and we would have to leave. So yeah, I highly recommend everybody do things above board and follow the rules and the laws of the country that you're in. It's one less thing that you have to worry about, and it makes life a little bit easier. But this is good news for the people who are digital nomads or considering on doing this. And yeah, there might be, like I said, the internet is already popping up with discussions about, well, I've got a pension and I've got this money coming in. What if I make a company and start an LLC or a corporation, and my pension goes into the corporation and the corporation pays me, and then I would be able to go to Korea? as long as you have the paperwork to back it up and you've been doing this for a year prior and you have that year experience, I don't know, maybe. But people are already trying to look for ways in which they could come and stay in Korea. Like the article said, it ends up, I think there was something like 17.5 million people visited Korea in like 2019 or 2018. And then now they're looking to bump up those numbers into like 30 million by 2029 or something like that. So they're actively looking on ways to bring tourism, and this is one of the ways of help doing that is through this new digital nomad visa. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, just wanted to bring this out because this is new and exciting, and a lot of people are kind of wondering about it. For the people that are already working remotely because of COVID and they continue to work remotely, financial planners and whatever, there's a lot of different occupations where people work remotely. And I didn't know that was really such a big thing. But this could be an opportunity for those people who have that type of job to be able to come to Korea, visit for a couple of years, a year or 2 years, and get to see the culture, the food, and it's really neat to be able to travel around to other countries. And I think it makes you a better person all around because you're not keyholed into just growing up in that one small town and never leaving the United States or the country that you're from. And this is a great way to do it. Ultimately, what I would like to see in Korea is for Korea to have a retirement visa. And I think that might be something that they would look at as well. Because if they're considering this, and they're just doing a test run of this, if they're considering this, it would seem to me, as a reasonable person, that they would also be looking at retirement visas. As long as you meet a certain income requirement, and background check, criminal checks, and all of those things, and you're able to provide and show that you have income and you will not be working in Korea, then I think that's something that we will see in the future. I'm hoping anyway, because there's a lot of people that would really like to come to Korea and retire and visit, kind of like what we did. So anyway, yeah, this is new, brand new. It hasn't even been out 24 hours, and I thought I would pass this along to everybody. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Just wanted to pass this along to everybody, and if you've got any questions, I can't answer anything in regards to this visa. But if you have questions about an F4 and F1 visa, and if you're one of, you and your spouse, and one of you has Korean ancestry, then I can give you and share the experiences that we had when we applied for the F1 and the F4 visas. And if you want more information of that, we have videos saved to The Varied Life on YouTube. And you could be able to check those out and get more information about the visas, exchanging driver's license for a Korean driver's license. We kind of did some tours of apartments, and, we have some footage of the apartment that we bought here, and we bought a car with Korean banking and cell phone service, all of that stuff. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, that is available. Just check out the playlists, and you will see those videos. And that's where this video is going, is in that overseas retiring Korea playlist. So anyway, any questions, put them in the comments section down below. Please hit the like and subscribe. It's not just about retired in Korea. I also have videos on exercise. I have just started a new hobby of 3D printing, resin printing, and painting miniatures. I got to do something besides going to the gym all the time. And then before that, we even had some videos where we took some trips, and then we had some medical complications, and I'm all better. So hopefully this next spring and summer, we'll be able to do some more trips and post those as well. So with that being said, it is 30 December right now. So we're a day ahead of people in the United States, and wherever you're from, I'm not sure. But I wanted to wish everybody a happy new year. And if you're looking at traveling, I highly recommend it. And if you're at a point where you're kind of looking towards retirement, but you can't do it in the United States, definitely look at overseas retirement. I'm not telling you to come to Korea and retire, but I'm telling you to check out retirement options for Philippines, for Thailand, for Portugal, and other countries where their expenses are a hell of a lot lower than what they are in the United States. And that can make the difference of having to work for the rest of your life versus being able to retire, albeit it'll be in an overseas country, but enjoying some actual golden years and being able to retire and enjoy those years. So yeah, there's a couple of options. And again, it all depends on the money. But for the average Joe and Jane Q public, yeah, a lot of people are pushing off retirement because of the ever rising expenses, and overseas retirement is now, a lot of people are waking up to it like we did. And yeah, we're kind of enjoying that adventure that we're on. So anyway, so that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. All right, we're finished up.